Hello friends, my name is Dr. Awdhesh Singh and I am an educator on Unacademy. You too can become an educator in Unacademy by downloading the link which is given below this, and you can reach to millions of people and spread your message and educate them. Friends, I had been for 25 years. I joined IRS in 1991 and thereafter I took voluntary retirement in 2016. I had great interest in pursuing my literary interest, and I have written 2 books so far, Practicing Spiritual Intelligence and Secret Red Book of Leadership. And my 3rd book, Myths Are Real, Reality is a Myth, is to be released very soon. Friends, one of the major problems which we face in our life is our inability to maintain good interpersonal relationships. We are not having good relationships with your friends, your family members, your children, your parents, your bosses, your teachers, and all these people. And if we do not have the good relationship with them, then we are unable to achieve the success either at our personal life or at our professional life. Friends, life is called Anubhav Dhara. Anubhav Dhara, a string of experiences. Each moment we are having a different experience of life. If that experience of life is good, then we are happy, and if that experience, then we are unhappy. Now this experience we are having by interaction with the different people. If you meet somebody and that person's make you unhappy because you don't like that person don't like you, then you are feeling depressed. In the same way, when you meet somebody whom you love, with whom you share a good rapport, then immediately you cheer up, your mind becomes good. So friends, most of our relationships are revolving around maybe 24 people. They are our small world. If we are good to them, they are good to us, we are having a good interpersonal relationship, then we are successful and we are also happy. So I am going to tell you some techniques, some tips. I am going to give you 7 tips which can be used for improving your quality of life by building a strong personal relationships. So the first important point to understand is that there are different perspectives in this world. Problem is that we see the world as we are and not the world as it is. If you are a man, you see the world. If you are a female, you see the world from female's perspective. If you are rich, you see the world from rich person's perspective. If you are poor, you see the world from poor person's perspective. If you are a father, you think about how the children should be, and if you are a children, you think about how parents should be. So problem is that we see the world from our perspective, and that is the reason that we are unable to build relationship, because the expectation of the person with whom we are dealing and our expectations do not match. We say something, they say something, they understand something, and therefore the relationships do not build. So one important thing is, for example, when you are dealing with your father, then you should think like a father. As a father, what is expectation from your children? If you keep that in mind, then you will not have any problem. Similarly, if you are a rich person, think that what you would have been. If you are a poor person, what will be your perspective? So if you see both the perspective, then you will have a very good relationship, whether professionally or personally. Second thing is, my friend, that you should learn to appreciate diversity. Okay, I will give you an example. Let us say you go to a shopping mall, you find good different variety of clothes all around. Now immediately you will find that some clothes will immediately catch your attention and you want to buy that clothes. At the same time, there will be some clothes which you will never buy even if they are gifted to you free of cost. Why it is so? Because we have different taste. Just like a spectrum has different colors, people have different taste. But don't think that the cloth which you don't like or you hate is not liked by somebody. In fact, if that cloth is not liked by somebody, the company will never manufacture that cloth. So what you like may be disliked by somebody, what you do not like may be liked by somebody, and that is how the world is designed. So please understand that you should learn to appreciate the diversity. If somebody is different than you, then understand that person. There is a very famous saying that if two people think identical, then one of them is redundant. So it is the diversity which gives beauty to this world. It is the man and woman's difference which bond them together. It is the poor and rich persons which motivate each. My friends, you should understand that you have to appreciate the diversity rather than baffled by the diversity. The third important point I will tell you after giving this example, suppose that you go to a doctor and because your vision's just like my specs, for example, you are not able to see the things correctly. Now what the eye doctor does is that he is already having a prescription made, immediately prescribe you spectacles. You take these spectacles, your vision will be all right. You come back with the spectacles and see, and you find that your vision is gone even worse. You go back to the doctor and say, look, I was still better when I was not using these spectacles. You say this spectacles, the same power of spectacles work perfectly for me. Why it is not working for you? There is nothing wrong with the spectacles. What is wrong with you? How do you feel like that? So you have to understand that what worked for the doctor may not work for you. What worked for me may not work for you. But unfortunately, we behave like this stupid doctor. When somebody comes to us with a problem, we immediately suggest something which has worked for us. We don't understand that the situation is different. People are different. People have different intelligence. People have different knowledge. People have different background. People are born in different time. What worked in my time, say 25 years ago, may not work today in your time. And if I suggest the same solution which worked for me is not going to work for you. So you have to understand that don't offer quick fix solution and try to get into the skin of that person's problem and then only suggest a solution. So this is the third important thing, that don't offer quick fix solution. Provide personalized solution to the people. Fourth, don't expect perfection. I tell you that most of the people make their own life miserable because they are expecting perfection from them. They are not able to come to their own expectation. They also are not able to develop relationship with others because they don't see other people as perfect. If you expect too much from your parents, your children, your friends, your bosses, then organization, your country, then I can assure you that your life is going to be miserable. You are never going to build a good relationship. Friends, all what we call perfection is a figment of man's imagination. The God has not created any perfect world. Whatever is there in the world is created by God, and for everything which exists, there is a purpose. It is our ignorance that we don't understand the purpose and we blame the things which are not useful to us on that point of time. Rain may not be desired by you if you are in the city because it will block the roads, but the rain is useful to the person who is in the village. So what is good for you is not necessarily good for others. So you have to understand that you should not expect perfection because there is nothing like perfection. Ideals and ideas are figment of imagination. In the process of getting perfection either for yourself or for other, don't spoil your life. The fifth important point is that you should understand that the good and evil comes together in a package. This is by my experience of life. I have met with thousands and thousands of people. I have never found a person who is a perfect person, who is totally a good person or who is totally a bad person. In fact, the people, they are as good as they are bad. So these goods and evil are bound together. So whenever you meet a person who looks to you a very good person, always think that this person may have certain negative things as well. In the same way, whenever you meet a person whom you dislike, there is a negative thing in that, then you should also try to find out that there may be a good side of that person as well. So this is an important thing. And so if you accept the person as they are, as imperfect persons and not as a perfect person, then you will be able to build a good relationship. Because if you are focusing only on the negative side of the person, and then you will never be able to build a good relationship, because there is no person in this world who is a perfect person. Neither yourself are there. So understand that this good and negative things come together, and you should always accept the people as they are. Next point is that, sixth point is invest in relationships. Now suppose you have an ATM and you go to a bank and try to withdraw 30,000 rupees. Will you be able to withdraw that money unless you have deposited that money in the bank? it is, that it is simply impossible. A person seeing from outside may see that you have just gone to the bank and withdrawn the money, because he is not able to see how much you have invested, how you have invested. The same thing hold goods in any relationship. You have to first invest in the relationships, then only you can receive the dividends from the relationships. Just 2 days back, our Prime Minister has inaugurated a largest bridge in this country, which in Assam, which was 9.15 kilometer. It was built over several years with the cost of more than 2,000 crores. This is a great investment which the country has made. And what are the benefits? That the benefit is that we are going to have 165 kilometer length reduced between Assam and Arunachal Pradesh, and the people are going to save every day 6 to 7 hours traveling in these places. In the same way, you can understand that this investment in relationship is like a bridge. It bridges the gap between two hearts, and unless you invest into that over a period of time, then this gap is going to be there and you are not going to build a very strong relationships. You can bridge this relationships by keeping promises regularly. Whenever you make a promise, always keep the promise. Whenever your person is on need, your family member is on need, always stand by that person. You should also understand that you should, if the person need your help, even without asking, you should offer the help. So all that things goes as an investment in the relationships. If you invest in the relationships every day, then only you can build a strong relationship. It is not one day job. It takes years to build a relationships. Finally, the 7th point is that protect the relationship as the most precious asset. Friends, we bother too much about protecting house, protecting jewelry, protecting our clothes, protecting our car, but we don't care that much protecting our relationships. Relationships are the most precious gift which God has given us, or we built that relationships. For example, the bridge which I talk, which is created for 2,000 crore rupees, can be destroyed within no time. What takes years to build can be destroyed in no time. It takes a young man to be employed or get into a job or become a young adult in 25 years, but the same man can be destroyed within a moment. In the same way, the relationship which you built over so many years can be destroyed in no time. Suppose you shout at somebody in your fit of anger and harm the sentiments of that person, relationship goes haywire. In the same way, you are having a good relationship, you become unfaithful to that person once and the relationship goes. So these things, you do a backbiting of your friend and the relationships go. So you have to understand that you have to protect the relationship as the most precious asset, and that is how you build a relationship and keep the relationships. So if you remember these 7 steps and the 7 tips, you can maintain a good relationship, you can develop good relationships, and when you have a good relationship and a great relationships, your family life will be good, your personal life will be good, and you will also do a great job at your professional life, because your bosses, your subordinates, your colleagues, your clients, your customers, everybody will be happy, because the key of all the happiness is maintaining a good relationship. So I hope that you have liked this lecture, and if you have liked this lecture, then please give your comments. I'll be very happy to make further lectures as you choose. You can also suggest as to what are the topics on which you want lectures. I'll be happy to share my thoughts on those topics. Thank you very much for watching my video.